Now this is a story all about how my life got flipped turned upside down, and I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there and let me tell you about this bullshit that just ain't fair. I'd like to tell you a story, if you'd be willing to listen. A story about something I can guarantee you know nothing about. But please hear me out. Just give me 10 minutes of your time, because one day this can be you sitting here. It could be your husband, or God forbid, it could be your child. Nobody knows what causes this, but they do know that there is no cure. Now, what is it that I'm talking about? Interstitial cystitis, a chronic inflammation of the bladder. It's a painful and most days a debilitating condition. Imagine 100 paper cuts on your hand and you squeeze lemon juice all over that. That pain when you need to go, and that pain that stays for days if maybe you held it too long and now you've caused your body to inflame. Your pelvic gets inflammation, your back gets inflammation, and sometimes you get a horrible bloat in your stomach from that inflammation. Your body hurts. Sometimes it hurts to walk too long, to stand too long. People who know me know how much I used to love baking cakes, decorating, and I had such a passion for it, and I loved it. I was good at it. But since my condition has gotten so much worse in the last 6 to 7 years, I can hardly stand long enough to even make a sandwich. I get so much pain in my feet and my lower back. What really scares me the most is the symptoms that come with IC are the identical symptoms that someone with bladder cancer would have. I get the extreme pain in the back. Every visit to the urologist, I always have blood in my urine. It's microscopic, but it's always there. Frequency is a huge issue every day. So to know that it's like living with that slight fear of the unknown, and it's scary. I'm not gonna lie to you. To get an even more in-depth look, this is what a normal bladder per se looks like. It's not normal, but it's fleshy. It's fleshy and pink. And here is what mine looked like when I was diagnosed in 2006. All those red spots, imagine as cuts that were when urine starts getting in there, it just starts burning. If I can't get to a bathroom in a timely manner, now imagine them stretching. When that happens, that's what causes a flare-up. And a flare-up can last days, even weeks. So fast forward to what my bladder looks like now, before and after. Bladder said screw the spots. I had a cystoscopy done last June, and they perform it at an in and out surgery kind of place. They give you anesthesia, and a hydrodistension is performed. A hydrodistension is where the bladder is filled with water to a max capacity and drained, then performed again a couple of times, and a camera is inserted at each level to capture what your bladder looks like inside. Plan on having another one done the beginning of next year. I can honestly say that my biggest trigger for me is anxiety and stress. And I can honestly admit that when I got laid off from my job in 2013, that took a huge toll on me. And it just seems like it's been getting worse every year since then. There are a lot of factors that can trigger a flare-up. For a lot of people, certain foods, certain drinks, alcohol can all affect people in different ways, which to me, I see in a lot of groups on Facebook, which I think are wonderful and so helpful to get to talk to so many people who are going through the same thing you are. But there are always so many questions of, can I have this? If I drink this, will I flare up? If I eat this, one thing I have learned to be 100% true about this condition is that everybody is different. If you've never tried something and you're afraid it might cause a flare, yes, I think it's great to get opinions, but my advice is to try it. You have to learn what your body accepts and what it doesn't. You can't set limits just because it wasn't good for someone else. I can drink coffee and it doesn't bother me. So many people can't. They'd be flaring for days. I can eat certain tomato sauces and pizza and tomatoes, and although it should affect me, it doesn't. So trial and error, everybody. You gotta learn what your own body's sake. There's no cure for this condition, and sometimes it irritates me when I see blogs or videos of somebody like, oh yeah, I drank a shitload of cucumber juice and now my IC is cured. Again, to my point, I tried cucumber juice and that actually flared me up. So again, just because it worked for you, and I applaud you, as you probably didn't have it that bad to begin with, to sit there and say you're all cured. Come on now. The only medication that is FDA approved for this condition is a medicine called Elmeron. Now, the problem with this medication is depending on your insurance, some people have been charged $200, $300, $400, $500, $600, even $1,000 a month for this freaking medication, which is insane. And now let's throw in that lawsuits have been put in place because it's showing that this medication is now being linked to earlier macular degeneration. I started having vision problems and got checked recently, and thankfully I just have a really screwed up astigmatism, which puts halos around every damn light at night. And well, I can't see in low light either, but the health of my eyes were good, and that medication has had no effect. So I thank God for that. I think my biggest aggravation with this condition is the lack of knowledge by people, by doctors, by everybody, to never have even heard of the word. I seen a video on YouTube, a morning news show that came out probably about the time I was born, 37 years ago. And the conversation was identical to what a conversation about it would be like on TV today. The anchor inquiring about something they never heard of, a doctor giving the same explanation, and how there's no cure. And that's what pisses me off. Why isn't this talked about more? Why isn't it on more medical shows? Do we need to have more of this to get the attention it needs?
Studies show depression is common amongst those who have painful bladder syndrome, and so are suicidal thoughts. Lisa took her life just over a year ago. She was 27.
Profoundly impacted her emotional well-being, very much so. She couldn't pursue her school. I mean, she could, but she was in pain, and she always felt like she was different, that people don't understand what this pain is. So that has a psychological impact on you.
I pray to God I never get to that dark place. I've had days that have been very dark, but please, God, please continue to guide me with your light and give me the strength to endure, because this is a battle I'm going to be forced to battle for the rest of my life. My primary care doctor, who is so awesome, so understanding, has a lot of experience with IC. He told me how much he sympathized with me, because having IC is going to be like me carrying a backpack on my back with 50 pounds in it for the rest of my life. Can never put it down. Just hearing him be empathetic helps so much, because believe it or not, there are a lot of doctors who, excuse my language, are assholes. And they pretty much look at you like you're making it all up. Why the hell would you make something like this up? Seriously, really, why? I've never really talked out loud about this, and I'm just not one to complain about anything. Oh yeah, I also suffer from fibromyalgia, which pretty much feels like you get your ass kicked every day. Muscles that hurt and chronic fatigue that is no joke. Just feels like every fiber of it, every inch of your muscle is just done. No strength whatsoever. No strength to do anything. I hold in what hurts me, and I'm the type that would rather make someone's day and see a smile on their face while I'm fighting my pain. I have a high pain tolerance, which can actually be pretty dangerous, because when your body is in pain, pain is a signal that something is wrong. Well, my signals are way off. And when I start to feel pain, it's probably a pain that would send a normal person to the ER. I actually had a doctor confusingly ask me how I was not in pain when I had a serious tonsil infection. I just felt sore. It felt sore to me, but he said if I had waited any longer, an hour or two, I would have ended up in the ER getting an emergency tonsillectomy. Because my tonsils were like black. They were bad, but they didn't hurt. And so yeah, I did have those tonsils pulled a few years ago, and it wasn't bad at all. Anyways, back to the point of all this awareness. I had these t-shirts made. I see sucks. Friendly font, but it sucks. And I want people to ask. I'm hoping that people start hearing about it. And I hope and pray that one day a cure can be found, because IC sucks. If you've gone this far to actually listen to me, thank you. And much love to you, because it's people like you that I need in my life. It's y'all that give me the strength to continue on. So thank you again. Much love, peace, and blessings to you all.